frankly, to reflect on something that happened here in the state not long ago, a matter of fact, very recently. It reflects on the anti-Semitic attack.
Okay, I've abandoned that. I've abandoned that slogan. But the point is that I've won in districts that he has won by over 20 points.
That it is so important to pass a resolution of this magnitude this week, and why it is necessary to go forward.
Hello and welcome to Roundtable Decision. In today's video, we're going to have a fast post-debate recap of who actually won the debate according to 538 and Politico websites. 538 is a fantastic website if you want live debate coverage, and they have really neat polls for each and every election that I highly suggest you looking at after this video, in which I will show. So in their first poll, you can see here, they asked which candidate performed best. And according to their poll, it said that Biden, Sanders, and Warren performed the best as far as that goes. And then this is a very interesting question, as they said, how did voters' priorities affect their views of the candidate? So among voters who prioritized beating Trump, Biden did best, as you can see, able to beat Trump. And it goes Biden, Warren, Sanders, Klobuchar, Buttigieg, Yang, and then Stoyer. Who left a good impression? So in general, this is very important when it comes to the debate. And I do think that their poll of Yang and Klobuchar are positive, because Klobuchar had her best debate performance so far. She was very aggressive within the debate and attacked the frontrunner of Buttigieg, for Iowa polling at least, very strongly. And that was very important for her campaign if she wants to move forward. But one of the more interesting ones was Tom Stoyer at third, because I don't think that he's really that much of a candidate that is going to get enough polling to really go much further in the debate, let alone the next election. Now, I could be wrong within that, but it is interesting to see his positivity go up. But that could be just because his number was so low in the first place. And what really caught me by surprise was Buttigieg, as he lost 1.9%, so he went down. And through the Politico articles that I'm going to show, you can see that a lot of people didn't think that he had a very strong performance. And I thought that what he said when they went after him was rather good, what he said. I thought he came across as being strong. I don't know if he necessarily won the debate, but I'm surprised to see that he made a negative impression instead of staying neutral or slightly positive, because he did have very good comebacks within, including one of the better lines of the entire debate, in my opinion. But one of the most interesting statistics that comes from the debate, really the one I always look at, is who spoke the most. So who physically on the debate floor was the most important? And within that, Amy Klobuchar was at the top with 3,557, with Pete Buttigieg in second with 3,327. And that kind of follows the trend. Pete Buttigieg was on the defense throughout the second half of the debate. He had to combat a lot of what the Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren were attacking him with through campaign finances or through experience with Amy Klobuchar. And his fight back was able to produce his word count higher. And Amy Klobuchar had to be able to do something to take some of the polling numbers away from Buttigieg if she wishes to go further in the debate. And of course, just to highlight the note, but everyone already knows this, the Yang gang and Andrew Yang spoke the least with 1,729, even less than Tom Stoyer at 1,937. And you see who mentioned Trump the most. So this was kind of a interesting statistic, and I was really thought it was kind of weird when I saw that Elizabeth Warren was at 1 Trump mentions, but then you read their quote here, and it says, on average, each candidate said Trump's name about 6 times, but of course it doesn't cover every reference to Trump, as some didn't call out the president by name. Excuse me. Like when Sanders said, we have a president who is a pathological liar. So if they don't say Trump's name directly, then it doesn't count as a mention. So I don't think that polling statistic is very interesting, but it's still something to kind of highlight from within the debate. And going to this Politico article, the headline reads, "Who won the debate and more takeaways from the firework-filled night?" And real quick note, Politico was one of the hosts of this last debate, so obviously they're going to have a lot of coverage and a lot of opinions from within, so we need to be able to take that some into account when looking at the article, because they kind of have been a bystander website when covering the debate, and now they're the website when covering this debate. So who had the best night? And Sider says, if Klobuchar ends up mattering in February, and that's an open question given her current standing in the polls, this debate will be remembered as the turning point. It wasn't just that she unloaded on Buttigieg, it was that she managed to unload him while also putting the South Bend, Indiana mayor against every other Democrat on stage and casting herself as a unifiedly above it all figure. I did not come here to listen to this argument, she said when Buttigieg and Warren were quarreling. I came here to make a case for progress, and I have never ever been to a wine cave. I have been to the Wind Cave in South Dakota, which I suggest you do. And a side note, and this is just my opinion with Klobuchar, I thought she came across as a little more cringeworthy throughout the debate some as well, through some of the lines she kind of said. And she kind of went from a little bit of like a Kamala Harris type of humor, which I don't know fully made her the candidate I would choose who won. And I was going to take one from the positive category and then one from the negative category. And as you can see here, I'm not sure how you say his name. Here, the wine cave pile aimed at Buttigieg was not only the most surprising. When Warren first brought it up, it was by far the most entertaining. The mayor just recently had a fundraiser that was held in the wine cave floral crystals and served 900 bottles of wine. Think about who comes to that. He had promised that every fundraiser would be an open door, but this one was closed door, Warren said to Buttigieg. Then Klobuchar jumped in with some Minnesota-adjacent commentary, touting her visit to the wine cave in South Dakota. So that was one of the biggest things Amy Klobuchar was doing in the debate. She wanted to make herself very, 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 very clear that she is the Midwest candidate that Democrats should be voting for. She is someone that can work with Republicans. She is someone that can win the Midwest vote that is going to be absolutely necessary if they choose to beat Trump, or if they choose that she has the best chance to beat Trump. But on a side note, I'll link the video below. But Matt Christensen had a very good video on that wine cave incident, and it's obviously coming from his personal bias of being someone that doesn't necessarily believe in that entire claim as a whole, and you'll kind of see that when watching the video. But his stance is very important from within. Next thing. Poll, viewers say Biden won the debate, and this is a real quick article. According to a poll conducted by the Morning Consult and Politico, a plurality of viewers, 23%, found that Biden performed the best at the December 19th Democrat presidential debate. That's kind of a handful. Anyway, held in Los Angeles. Bernie Sanders came in at second at 16%. That is the first time viewers chose Biden as the best performer since the first primary debate in June. And that kind of is my conclusion within this whole video. Like I said in my other debate recap video, I do think that Biden won the debate as a whole. But I also think that Pete Buttigieg didn't necessarily come across as being the loser of the debate like a lot of the polling might suggest that he did. And I still think that he has a strong chance of winning Iowa unless if the Democratic view of campaign finances comes into such a strong stance, because it does seem to be a lot larger of an issue from within a Democratic base than other bases. Thank you for watching my video.